get a nice long PVC pipe like this, a lot of the touring pros, Nelly Corda and Rory, just to name a couple, are really doing this drill quite frequently, to where they're always practicing downward tilt. So I can't rotate high because the ball's down here on the ground in front of me. I literally have to rotate on an angle that allows me to reach the ball when I come back down. So if I'm rotating up, or I'm standing up as I try to complete my rotation through the golf ball, I'll never get to the ball if I stand up or tilt backwards. The problem is that trail end of this PVC pipe's never going to get back to my center. When I'm going to stay at this angle for 1 second. When I stay bent over, while I stay in my posture bent over, this is all dependent on the length of my golf club. The shorter the club, the more I'm bent over, the more I'm also rotating in that tilted position. What I try to do is just really, the nice thing about this PVC pipe is it has a little bit of weight to it, but I'm just really trying to rotate and keep the PVC pipe relatively connected to my chest, so I don't lose positioning and rotation from shoulder to shoulder. Now, on the contrary to returning back to the golf ball in the immediate part of my transition, is I don't want to start to come down while I stand up, because then I can't rotate. It's going to look like my back shoulder's down. The only problem is my spine angle's tilted backwards. I want my shoulder to go down as I cover the golf ball with my chest. So as I shift my hip towards my lead heel and I start to open up my lead hip a little bit, I now can rotate my chest down to the ball. Now here's the interesting thing about mentioning all of this is my hands are going to still be hinged and holding the golf club airborne, as my body is primarily doing 90% of the work, because my hands haven't done a thing yet. So as my body, okay, I'm going to try and do this while I kind of pretend like I'm looking at the ball. So as my body shifts, my hips start to rotate and my shoulders rotate down, my arms are swinging down into here with the rotation of my chest, and then last but not least, my hands are going to go. So my hands are last. My body's always first. My body's leading the way first. Crazy analogy would be like saying, I want the horse to pull the buggy. No, I don't. I said that backwards. I want the buggy to pull the horse. No, I don't. I want the horse to pull the buggy. Or another analogy would be like saying, the caboose doesn't pull the engine pulls the caboose. So your body is basically the running engine that you can't derail it. If I turn to this angle here and I get my posture and I rotate and I start to bleed up, that's when that back shoulder is never going to get back to my center. So my body is now hanging backwards and it's basically out of my center. And so now when I do that, I'm going to have to try to just hit at it with my hands, because my body hasn't stayed over in its posture long enough to rotate long enough to pull the arms, hands, and the club down to the golf ball to hit the ball and then take my divot. Once I start feeling like I can keep my lower hip back first and then start to let it open, and it's going to look like my back, like my chest is still facing the camera, but my back is still to the target. My hips are already squared up. My hips now are going to open, and now I'm going to polish this off with an upper body chest rotation. In other words, I'm basically going to do the best I can to give the golf ball a body blow. So my hips are going to go first, my posture is going to stay maintained, my upper body is going to start to rotate, my arms are going to free fall as I rotate, and once I get down over the golf ball, my hands are going to go ahead and smash the golf ball back squarely at impact. So sequentially, That's basically why touring pros are touring pros, is they run in that fashionable sequence without giving their posture and their tilts away. And one last thing, don't forget, hitting down in the golf ball is not using your hands to hit down on the golf ball. Hitting down on the golf ball is staying over the golf ball and rotating so that the circumference of the circle works down as your hands release it. So the collision and the timing has to be exponentially controlled first and foremost by how the body begins to settle, situate, and locate, and then maintaining the positioning of it while you stay in position, and then enabling the hands to do their job the right way through the impact or the hitting area. So I hope that's maybe a good explanation that a lot of people haven't heard before, and it's just something that I'm always aware of when I'm teaching and coaching, is you have to look at the primary thing that's potentially causing the mishit or the discrepancies in the ball flight. So the ball flight, or the hands and squaring the club face, basically are going to take care of themselves, and they're going to learn to stabilize the club face through the strike once body position is controlled and it's also in motion. So those are the key items first, and then realize, because everything's connected, and that's the fear with a lot of people taking a lesson, is they don't want to take that lesson because they're afraid they're going to get messed up. But the feel, because of your hands holding the golf club, is definitely going to change as you work on the primary components, because everything's connected. So there you have it. We're going to stop right there, quit babbling on, but think about creating a posture that is very controllable to the sequencing of your swing. Have a great day.